What up, y'all? It's your boy Ben here, back at it again with another Pokemon Pocket video for you all. Today we're diving into the meta report. I hope your weekend was great. I just celebrated my 4-year anniversary with my wife, and so, I'm feeling pretty good. So with that all said, let's go ahead and dive into all the fun things that went over the weekend with tournaments and like all these fun things, so that way you can get the best information on what are the best decks to climb, because not only do we look over one tourney, we look over two tourneys, and we look over a third tourney just to really kind of see what is being played and what's doing well. So let's go ahead, before we dive into the first deck, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, click the notification bell button, so that way you do not miss out on the my words, so that you do not miss out on the daily uploads. All right, y'all, let's dive in. Alright, up first we have this Greninja Sylveon EX's deck that has just been really being not only just popular but hugely successful. This one taking the first place out of the Ursi Day tournament as well. You're looking at with this draw power from Sylveon EX, like I don't know about y'all, but if you play Sylveon EX, you're just noticing just how much faster your deck is going against the other opponent. I kid you not, I've played this version and some other decks that we're going to see later on in the video, but you being able to Professor's Research 4 times in a game means that you have 2 cards left in your deck while your opponent has 11. Like, it's just that good, right? And in that, you get to be a little greedy, right? Like, I don't need to play the stage 1 because I'm going to draw it one way or another, right? I have my Eevee here, and I'm able to even collect cards before I even have to evolve, right? Like, part of my move is to collect and keep drawing cards. So whatever card draw you get with Eevee feels free because you're getting another 2/1 to evolve on top of it. Being able to run Psychic and Water Energy means that you get to attack with Sylveon EX, which means you get to attack with Greninja, and obviously you get to attack Giratina EX as your sweeper here. I think you can run, if you have an Eevee and Giratina EX, definitely see what's on the board here to know whether or not you should draw, but like, hey, more cards in hand definitely goes well for you, especially as you're looking to pull your trainers, your rare candies, your pieces here, and then you go from there. So I like this build a lot. Seeing the red card in Mars here, I think to each their own. I think in a realm where Sylveon EX comes out, maybe, but like, then again, you're drawing so much for the Sylveon EX that a lot of time it doesn't even matter. So I like this deck. Looking for a way to rank up, this is definitely one that I recommend. And as we continue, we're seeing this Savali electric deck, the archetype here, really ramping up here because of the Zeraora Dawn combo. Oricorio is powerful and enough where it's dealing with all of the EXs that are running rampant, right? Like in that last deck, the only thing that really could affect this one here would be Greninja, but then you have the weakness advantage being able to deal 70 with Oricorio or 70 with Zeraora. Thunderclap Flash allowing you to get a electric energy right away or lightning energy right away is pretty sweet. So that means if you are going first, you have type null, you have Zeraora, you get the energy up after your first turn, then you evolve into Savali, put the energy up, Dawn, and then you're attacking for 100 right away. Like, that is like the ultimate combo that you can pull here, and then just start attacking from there as you run a whole lot of supporters to ensure that you're hitting for 100 every single turn. And if you have to deal with EXs, or Oricorio is there to save your butt. So like, overall, this deck has a lot of answers, and it is very, very fast, which puts your opponent on their heels, and sometimes that damage that you're already outputting it goes too quick for them to catch back up. So this style deck, if you really like aggressive decks, if you really like fast tempo decks, this is definitely the one for you. And then we continue into, sweet old reliable. At this point, there's been so many iterations of it, but like when it comes to its core in its center, Darkrai and Giratina, or Darktina, just continues to stand through set after set after set after set because of its reliability. You know what you're playing for, you know what you're gonna get. You're building up Darkrai while giving yourself that Broken Space Bellow energy to generate energy for Giratina. You're attacking for 80, you're attacking for 130, and then you get to use all of these cards for whatever the reason needs to be. If you need a leaf, if you need a heal, if you need to hit them with the Mars, the red card, like it literally is a toolbox here to answer all parts of what's going on because of how good this goes. So if you need something reliable, this is the deck for you. Up next, we have this triple threat, 3 evolutions that like feels so smooth, right? So you're being able to play a 4 EVs because this EV EX allows you to evolve, which is like really nice. And then you have Leafeon EX, you have Flareon EX, you have 1 Sylveon EX, and you have 1 baby Leafeon here that just deals 90 damage. So what we do for this deck is that you're hopefully being able to like get Leafeon going first. So with the Forest Breath, you only use 1 Grass Energy, and then you just use Fire Energy. You're attacking. You put 1 energy on this Flareon EX for a fire starter, so if they do knock out the Leafeon EX, you're able to use Combust, get the second energy up there, and attack for 130. Sylveon EX is here to ensure that you draw through your deck, right? Like you're running 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Pokemon and just 10 starters. So being able to draw, draw 6 cards, it means that you're gonna be able to find all the pieces that you need. And this baby Leafeon here, 90, just one-shots your Oricorio. Then you retreat, attack with one of these bigger mons, and then go from there. So that's kind of like how that all works out. That is the game plan here. I want Leafeon EX up front, Flareon to then sweep up, and then Leafeon and Sylveon EX are your conditional ones. EV back here, being able to heal your Flareon EX back to full after a combust, possibly on the bench or whatever the case may be, to avoid opposing Cyruses is always a neat thing. And then being able to like hit 140 or even 150, really try to knock things out through a cape, especially with red, right? Like you can double up. This is plus 20, this is another plus 20, so this 130 goes to 170 potentially in one turn. Goes pretty nutty. Overall, this deck really has a good way of attacking, a good way of drawing cards, and a good answer to whatever else that you can find in the metagame. So I like this deck a lot. And then we go into Solgaleo EX here with the 1 Skarmory. So you're trying to find different ways to deal with Oricorio, because with Shiinotic here, you're just able to just dive right into the Solgaleo. You're going to be able to find it. It's really interesting to see that this deck has not played the Cosmonian. We've seen that instead of with a Skarmory, but again, you're trying to give yourself a clean answer to the Oricorio, because that is just what this deck actually really needs to feel really consistent in ranking up, because you will come across it and you just don't want that to feel like an auto concede. This is sometimes Magearna, and I've seen people play this with Duskmane. Skarmory feels good. I just don't like that it's weak to electric, and whereas Magearna, for 2 energy, you're able to knock that out because it has an ability. So either way, you can go in, but like typically you're probably going to attack first for 50, and then they can't knock you out, so you can get a good heads up there as well. Professor's Research, Sabrina, Cyrus, Lily, all the things. Leftovers is such a good tech for Solgaleo, because you lose 10 for every attack that you do, and then you gain the 10 right back. So it's as if it does not have this negative drawback here, which means that you're attacking for 120 for 2 energy, and that's just it, which is just insane value to get into. Then we continue on. We have a Charizard EX here, stoked with Sylveon EX, as you can see. This is really just used for its draw engine here. You're really just like saying, hey, I'm just looking for my Charizard EX. I'm just trying to get to my Charizard EX because 150 damage means that I am hitting anything and everything like a truck, and there's nothing that you can do to stop me. I believe so much in my Charizard EX to clear whatever that you're trying to do that I got this, and through 2 Lilies, then we're fine. Through a Sabrina, if I can't get through it, we're fine. If you try to give me that demon chicken bird, I got my Flareon here for 110 damage, and so I'm pretty vibing, right? Because like you stoke, you put in that additional energy, you're good, and then everything else can go on to the Flareon as needed. But oftentimes you're gonna find yourself running 2 Sylveon EXs with the 2 Eevees that are out, because you might not be up against that match. So really just taking advantage of this draw power to find those rare candies, to find your Charizard EXs, to find your Lilies for healing, and Sabrina for the win, like things like that. So overall, really good. Like you actually just don't brick, and you like get into your Charizard EX like every single time that you need to. So I really like it for the consistency rate for this deck. And then we continue in here into Garchomp EX. Rampardo's really just making a big old splash, making its way back here. What's really lovely here is that either way that you start, you like going first, right? Like if you're able to rare candy Gibble, it's a Garchomp EX, you're doing 1 energy 50 to anywhere on the board. You have a Skull Fossil, rare candy it up, you're doing 1 energy for 130. So you're really just building up energy down as a Garchomp EX as much as you want to, and then go from there. You're always gonna start with Gibble because you can't start off with the Skull Fossil, so that you know that you'll start here. Well, you're not seeing as much grass decks. So they went through and using the fighting type Gibble here instead, which is interesting. If you are seeing more grass decks, you can always play your dragon version of it, and it's just going to do the same thing for you, which is really nice. Overall, pretty strong deck. Again, you have options here. You have flexibility, you have utility with this linear attack, which is really strong, and it kind of just gives you options what to do and stop what your opponent is trying to do or set up in the back as well. And then we continue on with Zeraora or Oricorio Luxray. Same kind of things that play out here. You have the fast attacker in Zeraora. You have the utility with Luxray, where you're dealing damage to anywhere on the board, but it's not just damage, right? Like it's 120 is worth. Yes, you discard all the energy, but through Volkner, all you need to do is fire off your Volt Bolt. Volkner brings 2, and then you put the energy back up. If you have 2 Volkners in your hand, you can do 123 turns in a row, so that's all really nice. Guzma's just making sure that your breakpoints are the breakpoints that you're looking for, instead of them being able to get that extra 20 or even 30 when it comes to those grass decks. I'm really loving the fact that Zeraora gets that Thunder Flash, gets that energy really early, and Oricorio thriving off of the electric, again saving you from any kind of electric or any EX mon, to while you're safely building up your Luxray up in the back. And then from here, the Ultra Beasts don't go away. They're still really good if you're really looking for things to do. This is opting to use Pheromosa. You can use Kartana. You can go 1-in-1. You can go 2-in-1. Like right, like I think Kartana is a pretty good card to use in these decks. But this obviously allows you to Cyrus a lot more consistently as well. Being able to big beat here for 120 turn after turn with Ultra Thrusters. Pheromosa retreats right back into it. You lose some of your energy up after you knock it out with Pheromosa. It's just overall really good. Sustain here with Erica, and Leaf Cape is also really nice. Buzzwole EX is still a very good deck, so if you're looking for something consistent and something that you played from the last set, this is a good one. And speaking of how they don't go away, you have the poison variant of our Ultra Beast decks, where you're running Nihilegos, running the Ganondorf, and your Guzzlord EX, Poison Barbs on here as your big boys. You're really just building up to get this Tyrannical Hole. Even if you put 2 energy on your Nihilego or your 1 energy on your Naganadol, this poison stack, the more poison, being able to chip away 20 or 30 just eats away at your opponent. And if they're not running Pokemon Sun and Lady, that is a problem for them. And Guzma, again, just ensuring that you know exactly what you need to knock out to get there. But yeah, y'all, let me know, what do you all think of this deck or the decks that we're seeing here? What are your favorite decks to be playing right now as well? And is the deck that you're playing on this meta report? As always, click that notification bell button so you do not miss out on a thing. And thank you all so much for watching. Until the next one, peace.